Good afternoon. Welcome to the City of Riviera Beach Utility Special District Meeting. Today is August the 20th. The time is 5:55. Madam Clerk?
Chairperson Shirley Lanier,
Here.
Vice Chair Kashamba Miller Anderson,
Present.
Board Member Bruce Guyton,
Here.
Board Member Glenn Spiritus,
Here.
Board Member Priscilla Davis Panier,
Here.
Ex officio Board Member Mayor Douglas Lawson, City Manager Jonathan Evans,
Present.
Acting District Clerk Deborah Hall is present, District Attorney Don Nguyen,
Here.
District Finance Director Randy Sherman. Madam Chair, you have a quorum. You may proceed.
Thank you. We'll have a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Guyton.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any additions, deletions, or substitutions for this agenda this evening? Staff or board?
None from staff, Madam Chair.
Are there any disclosures in regards to items that are on this agenda for staff and for the board?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
I am friends with a principal in U.S. Water. I didn't realize that until way after we hired U.S. Water. I brought that up at a couple of meetings when we hired U.S. Water.
Okay,
Madam Chair?
yes, go ahead.
Okay. At the June 18, 2025 City Council meeting, I voted on resolution number 60. That's what I just,
You did, it was a district meeting?
no, Attorney Nguyen, is this what I'm supposed to, because you,
Yes, you can do it now.
okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you. I voted on resolution number 60-25, which provided for the city to make contributions to a defined contribution plan for 01A for elected officials who are not eligible to participate in the Florida retirement system. At the time of the vote, I believed that I could participate in FRS, but I was later informed by HR that I could not. Therefore, I didn't know at the time of my vote that I would benefit from that vote, and I just need the record to reflect this fact.
Okay, very good, thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Board Member Davis Panier,
Yes.
Board Member Guyton,
Yes.
Vice Chair Miller Anderson, Board Member Spiritus,
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier, unanimous vote.
Next item on the agenda?
That would be our consent agenda.
Awards and presentations? Go ahead, sir.
Good evening, Madam Chair. How are you this evening? If I may, I do not have a agenda in front of me.
No,
Madam
that's what
Chair,
I'm
if I
saying,
may,
we're on consent.
Consent agenda.
That was the consent agenda.
For the utility district.
Yes. The consent agenda is all matters listed under this item are considered to be routine and action will be taken by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council person so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second. Madam Clerk?
Board Member Davis Panier,
Yes.
Board Member Guyton,
Yes.
Vice Chair Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Board Member Spiritus,
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier,
Yes.
unanimous vote. Madam Chair, we are now on item 4 on the agenda, awards and presentations. Presentations of updates on utility special district projects.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Go ahead.
Joshua Neiman, Executive Director of Special Utility District. So this item is the same one that we brought before you before in past meetings. It is a update for Brown and Caldwell, which is the owner's rep for our new water treatment plant. Also one for U.S. Water, which is actively working at our current water treatment plant with staff augmentation and maintenance. And then we have Haskell and Haskell CDM JV team designing and building our new water treatment plant, and Global Tech. All four of those contractors / engineers are in the audience to provide any questions or answers you may have.
Do any of the board want to hear an update from either of these contractors?
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
U.S. Water, I would like to hear from. Well, actually, for the benefit of the public, it may be good to get a brief presentation from each, emphasizing brief. Brevity has its place.
Madam Chair,
Okay,
Mayor,
go ahead.
please, if I could, Mike Miller. Bring Mike Miller from U.S. Water up to give a brief presentation and overview of U.S. Water and their activities at the water treatment plant.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine. Good.
Good afternoon, good evening, Madam Chair, Board, and City Administration. My name is Mike Miller with U.S. Water Services. U.S. Water Services. And I'm sorry, exactly.
Just a quick overview of what you've got
Okay.
going at the plant right now.
Okay, as far as the existing plan is concerned right now, we're at the point where we have a lot of the major equipment up and running or near. When I say major, I'm talking about some of the high service pumps, the softeners, as well as some of the transfer pumps. The priority at this particular point for us is being able to get enough water actually through the system to get processed. And that's where we come to the filter conveyance issue that we put before you that we would need additional funding for. And at this particular point, given the amount of buildup in the piping system to convey from the softeners to the filters, we have to come up with an alternate way in which to get the water process, and which means that we have to do additional pipe construction in order to be able to actually get the water from the softeners into the filters. And that was the reason in particular for that's one of the reasons in particular for the $4 million.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Just one question. Mr. Miller, I've requested in the past, I'm gonna request again. And U.S. Water has a contract with us, the city. So obviously you're not a staff member. I would like a bi-weekly activity report that comes directly from you and doesn't go through the city staff. Do we have an understanding?
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I think that's something the board needs to come to a consensus on.
Yes.
Or I do a public records request. Either way, it's available.
Very good. I'll have my questions for U.S. Water during their item.
Okay.
You can bring up Global Tech.
Perfect.
We just need an update of where they are with the wells.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mike.
Good evening, Board. I'm David Schuman, Project Manager with Global Tech. We're currently working on 5 of the wells. 3 of those have been completed mechanically. They're done mechanically done, and 2 should be done in the next 2 weeks or so. Of those, we're trying to disinfect 2 of them currently right now, and that'll probably take another 2 to 3 weeks to get that disinfection completed, assuming it works acceptably. And the other 2 are going to be scheduled for acidization. So that'll probably take about another month or so before they're acidized and that testing is completed. So that's where we are right now.
So what is the work supposed to be completed altogether?
Well, the project's it has a lot of other components. There are other wells that we're working on, as well as a hydraulic model and a monitor well. So that probably will go on for about another year.
Okay,
Madam Chair?
yes, go ahead.
So I believe we approved 8 wells. And I think a couple of them, we're having problems with the site location. Right, one's in the
We- we-
railroad tracks or something.
we
and
have-
to,
We have finished some of the wells already. They're in service. So there's more than 8 wells if you look at everything that's being
we
done
go
on.
back for the full year,
Yes.
correct?
So some of the ones, I believe there's 3 of the wells that are already in service. And yes, there are access issues on a number of the wells. It could do, maybe there's trees that are growing over them. There's not access to private property fences. The power lines are overhead, or maybe there's no good place to flush the wells. So there's problems in a number of wells as far as getting the work done.
So are we working that out, Madam Chair? It's okay?
Yes,
Okay, so are we working out the location on that?
There have been some of the wells changed because of issues that we've had at certain wells. So they've changed which wells we're working on.
Okay, so out of the 27 wells,
We're
how
not,
many are we working on?
I think we're working on about 9 of them total, but not all of them are getting complete rehab. Some are just minor valve replacements or flow meter or pressure gauge replacements, stuff like that. I believe it's 8 or 9 of them that we're actually doing substantial rehab work on.
Madam Chair?
yes, go ahead.
So what does our study show as far as the 27 wells? How many are going to need work right now? Besides the 9 that we're already working on?
To my knowledge, every well needs work on it, whether or
Every
not
well.
you decide to use them, or if some of the work results in additional capacity, maybe you can abandon them, but none of your wells are in good condition.
Okay, so Joshua, could you tell us, are you going to bring a proposal to us to do the balance of the wells?
Yes, sir, we are. We actually had a meeting today with Global Tech, sat down and went through the wells with their hydrogeologist and identified a path forward as to doing it efficiently and effectively and having that ready before the new membrane plan is completed.
Okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Global Tech? Okay, we can have Haskell give an update.
Good evening. I'm Michael Hoisington. I'm the project manager for the JV. I also have Suzanne Meckler as part of the JV. So an update on the current status of the project is right now we're drilling 4 wells, 2 Sufficial and 2 Floridan. The 2 Sufficial wells is 2015A and 2015B. Both of those are complete. The screens have been installed at both of those. Right now they're actively working on jetting and flushing them out to remove any residual drilling fluids. After that, they will be able to do a drawdown test to be able to order the necessary sized pump to be able to efficiently work inside that well. After the pump is ordered, we will continue to finish the installation of the above ground wellhead and tie into the existing raw water supply line that feeds the existing plant and will ultimately feed the new plant. The FAS wells are, the one on site is FAS well 1. That one is complete with all the casing. However, they still need to do airlift drilling to finish the drilling down into the Floridan aquifer. Right now, we are installing the pipeline to be able to discharge the water that's going to come out as part of the airlift drilling. That's going to go to the canals and ultimately go up to the intercoastal to the ocean. And the last well that we're actively working on is FAS 5. That's at Avenue U, one of your existing facilities. We're planning to install the 26-inch steel casing next week, as long as we have the proper termination length that the engineers are working on currently. We are going to start working on the wells associated with GMP 3. The pit casing is already on site at one of the well sites. We have filed the permits with the city to be able to move forward with that. We're waiting for the permits to be issued, but the materials are on site to be able to proceed with installation.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Mike, can you explain to everyone what those wells, what the difference is in the types of wells and what the purpose of those wells are?
So the Sufficial wells is the upper aquifer. It's above the confining clay layer. That's more of a groundwater. They're shallow wells. roughly what, about 280 feet? Let her handle the.
Sorry,
the expert
upper
handle it.
aquifer is used in other terminologies too, so I'm just going to be as clear as possible. The two surficial wells are utilizing the same aquifer that you are currently using. It's called the Biscayne or the surficial aquifer here. They're usually a couple hundred feet deep, and that's that aquifer. The two wells are going to be part of your current well system, and yet the entire current well field system will feed the nanofiltration portion of the membrane plant. So as we've talked to you before, we're going to have two membrane systems in place. One is able to treat this surficial Biscayne aquifer, and then the other membrane system is to treat the Floridan aquifer. Okay, the Floridan aquifer is the 4 wells that he was talking about that we're drilling deeper, 2 ongoing right now and 2 coming up. Those go to, I think we're at, what did we end at? 1750 was the last one, and we're going to be probably a little bit shallower in the next couple that we drill. But that is getting into that saltier aquifer. There's a confining layer between the surficial and the Floridan aquifer, but it is a saltier aquifer, and thus it requires a different membrane treatment system associated with that aquifer. Does that help?
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so can you tell us why we're going 1,750 feet deep? What is the purpose of that well?
So you are maxed out in capacity for your existing surficial aquifer system. To be able to transition to membrane treatment, first of all, you will lose some of that capacity, because when you treat the membranes, there's what we call concentrate, which is what you're going to approve tonight, disposal. You'll lose about 15% of that. So whatever the city currently had allocated for that system, you actually will have 15% less of that once you treat with membranes. So that's one issue, is you're short, and the second is you were pretty tight anyway with your water supply. So the Floridan aquifer is what they call an alternative water supply, and being able to drill down to that means much more long-term ability for the city to grow, population projections going up. You can't, there's, I think you're allocated 9 in the water use permit total, something along those lines. 9 total Floridan wells, and that's really to expand your growth. The Biscayne aquifer also is limited by saltwater intrusion, and that's another challenge that you have with that aquifer. So it's basically another aquifer that you really need to be able to get your current plant, but also for expansion in the future.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
I don't mean to be bringing these things up, but I just want everyone on the board to understand what it is that we're voting on and what the purpose of spending these monies are. Suzanne, can you tell me, now you mentioned saltwater intrusion, which is what every barrier island or every area that has high water table is concerned about. Do we have test wells in there to check the saltwater intrusion?
I mean, Josh could tell you, you don't even need test wells. It'll be very obvious in your well field. And you actually have a pretty good system. You're not as impacted by some of the other people further south, but I'll let Josh explain if you have currently shown.
Madam Chair, if I may. So we currently test all of our wells for chlorides and total dissolved solids, and we have not seen elevated levels that would show saltwater intrusion, but we do track it.
Okay, and we have a desalinization system built into the new plant, correct?
Yeah, both membranes are able to remove salts. Just the reverse osmosis membranes are specifically designed to remove a higher level of salt in the system.
Right, thank you. You've been very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for Haskell? Let us proceed with Brown and Caldwell, please.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Nigel Grace with Brown and Caldwell. Just to build upon what's been said in the interest of brevity, from a overall project completion standpoint, several components of the design is now at the 90% level. The water treatment plant, 90% design has been reviewed. There's been discussion and agreement with the JV and the city regarding how the outstanding comments will be resolved. The JV recently submitted the 90% design for the raw water transmission infrastructure. That's currently under review. Those are 2 major outstanding components of work that are required precedents to the development of guaranteed maximum price proposals for the balance of work. The finished water transmission infrastructure design is approaching the 60% level. That has not yet been submitted, but anticipate that should be submitted fairly soon.
What is that, 60%? What is that?
The finished water transmission, essentially the piping infrastructure to connect the new water plant to the existing water transmission system, right? So it's not a lot of pipes, but it's going into a very congested part of Blue Heron and connecting to existing pipes and has to cross the railroad. So it's a fairly involved design. So that's been progressing, but it's been lagging the other design components. But that element is not a part of the critical path for the overall project completion. So it's not defining the overall schedule. Looking ahead for the next few months through to the end of the year, it's going to be an extremely busy period for the development of this project. The JV is currently in the process of developing competitive bids that will be part of their guaranteed price proposal for the water treatment plant. They've reported that they expect to be able to submit an initial draft to the city with sometime in September. Once that's received, that will trigger a fairly involved negotiation process. It's a complex document with lots of terms and conditions and cost allocation, risk allocation, etc. that has to be scrutinized carefully, and it's somewhat of an iterative process. Once we work through that negotiation process and arrive at a place that we think serves the collective best interest of the city, the project intent, then that will be brought forward to the board for approval in the latter part of this year. In tandem with that, assuming the award of the current guaranteed price proposal that's before you for consideration tonight, the well drilling will be progressing, right? The expectation is that they're going to mobilize very quickly and get started with that. That's an important component because while the wells themselves occupy a very small amount of real estate, the process of drilling is going to tie up a good chunk of the site, right? So while you're drilling the wells, it's difficult to also be constructing areas impacted by the well drilling activity. So getting out of that early and getting that going will free up the site, the full site, for construction of the remaining facilities. The other component of the GMP that's before you tonight is to complete the design for the balance of the project, i.e. the water plant, the finished water transmission, and the raw water transmission, to essentially take it from 90% to 100%, or the terminology used is issued for construction. By getting a start on that now, as opposed to waiting for a subsequent GMP, that will take care of some early action items that would otherwise potentially delay subsequent construction. So that's an important component of the package that's before you here that will help the JV kind of meet their schedule metrics. So I think that's just a general outline of kind of where things are. Moving into next year, I believe the project should be positioned for active construction starting in the very early part of next year on the water treatment plant and other components of the project. Towards the end of this year, once the GMP is approved, the JV will be focused on mobilizing and pre-construction activities, wrapping up permitting activities. There's a myriad of permits that need to be collected for the job, and they're currently in the process of procuring the various permits, and some of those will require kind of construction documents ready to go. So there's going to be just a lot of moving parts over the next 4 or 5 months, and then we'll see a lot of active construction on the site.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other questions for Brown and Caldwell? Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank
Norton.
you.
Let's go to our next item, Madam Clerk.
Madam Chair, excuse me, the next item is item 7A under the regular agenda. Resolution number 19-25UD, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the City of Riviera Beach Utility Special District, Palm Beach County, Florida, authorizing the extension of the piggybacking of Florida Governmental Utility Authority, FGUA, agreement with U.S. Water Services Corporation to obtain professional utility operations and maintenance staffing report services due to the water system's process reliability, procedural maintenance, and performance challenges, which has impacted compliance readiness, aesthetic characteristics of product water, and the ability to meet systems demands without reliance on supplemental water supplies from neighboring utilities. Approving transfers of $1 million from Project 23035 USD Wastewater Systems, $500,000 from Project 23037 USD Water Main, $1 million from Project 23043 USD Lift Station Communication Upgrade, $500,000 from Project 23036 USD Aerial Crossing Rehabilitation, $300,000 from Project 23033 USD Raw Water Well Major Maintenance, $250,000 from Project 23038 USD Water Meters Replacement, $450,000 from Project 23044 USD Citywide Road Infrastructure, totaling $4 million to Project 25031 USD Water Treatment Plant Maintenance, and authorizing the issuance of a purchase order and issuance of work authorizations to provide additional maintenance support and equipment purchases, authorizing the use of the FGUA agreement for the initial term ending September 30th, 2024, including the 5-year renewal option if exercised by FGUA, authorizing the Utility Special District Finance Director to make payments, and providing an effective date. Madam Chair, we do not have any comment cards for this item. The acceptance of the cards is closed.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair, members of the board, if I can have the Executive Director of the Utility, Mr. Josh Neiman, to
Madam
make the
Chair.
presentation.
Yes, go ahead.
So tonight before you is a request for additional funds to facilitate continued maintenance at our water treatment plant. As Mr. Miller alluded to, they've completed a wide array of maintenance activities at the water treatment plant. And so right now we've been able to completely rebuild most of our softening units, as well as some of our pre-treatment and our degasifiers. What that has left us with is the ability to get water to our filters and then be able to filter that water. The filtration portion of our water treatment plant is the last step in treating the water. And because of some of the past decisions that were made as far as water chemistry and turning certain chemicals on at certain times, we've run into a situation where the current media is no longer doing what it's supposed to. We actually sent some of our media out to analysis lab and had them take a look at how much calcium carbonate was built up onto each one of our particulates, and it's a large amount, more than you would see in a filter that's been online for 20 years, and these have only been in service for 2.
Okay, I have a question. This is to extend the contract for U.S. Water?
Yes, ma'am. Extend the maintenance portion of their contract.
And why can't we do this? Now, I have a problem with this. First of all, what is the number of contracts they've gotten thus far?
So as far as I know, 2.
I think it's 3.
Okay.
And this may be the 4th one. I'm saying this because we have to be at some point to get rid of these consultants. When I say get rid of, I mean the staff that's currently there should be trained to be able to do that. We have one water plant that we're trying to keep afloat. We have a new water plant coming online. We have money going out the door a lot. So we need to be able to get past this in terms of a consultant for the city. We hired a new executive director. You got to do a new assistant director. We have to get to some point where we transition from these consultants. So I do have a problem with it because a lot of this stuff, you tell me that, if this is happening because this is what they've discovered. but it's been over a year that they've been there. If they didn't see it then, I don't know what's happening now. So I have heartburn with it, to tell you the truth, because I know that their contract is up in December, but we're up to almost $8 million with these contracts with U.S. Water. And at what point do we say, are our staff available or ready to do that work? So yeah, I have a problem with that. Yeah, it's a lot of money, and at this point, the staff that's there should have been trained. Have they been trained?
Madam Chair, yes,
Yes.
they have been trained. What I would like to say is these are large capital projects that even under normal circumstances, we wouldn't have staff do these kinds of projects. It's going to take a large amount of equipment to be brought on site to rebuild these filters and the conveyance systems. These are way beyond the scope of any of our staff ability to be able to be completed.
So how is the training going with the current staff? What does that training look like?
Training is going very well. It consists of bringing outside vendors in to train them on items like the softening unit. We had a meeting today.
Bringing outside vendors in.
U.S. Water.
Okay.
So, like for example, we have a certain vendor that manufactures our softening units, right? So we bring that manufacturer in to train them on their piece of equipment. We've done that with our lime softening units, with our CO2 system. We do that for some of the operational things within the water treatment plant.
Okay. You certainly have to give this board a transition plan.
Yes, ma'am.
For U.S. Water, because the purpose of bringing U.S. Water in was to get our staff trained and ready to be able to continue maintaining our current water plant. And every meeting, there's more money being asked by U.S. Water. So we need to be able to have a transition plan for U.S. Water.
Yes, ma'am.
Because at some point, we have to do this ourselves, and that was the purpose of them coming here. Yes, go ahead.
Is there has there been any phasing out of any of the U.S. Water people that have been there? I know it won't all happen at one time, but has it started yet at any point?
Yes, ma'am, it has.
Okay.
So, I've been with the city now going on 9 weeks. And as I started, we've been slowly moving their management portion of the utility out. Really, they report to me now and really don't have any direct contact with most of our staff. With the hiring of our new water plant manager, that has also been helping facilitate some of the transition. But then again, this is only my 9th week. I have only been able to hire a water plant manager, so we still have some work to do before we will be able to facilitate and push them out the door. But I will tell you, I think that U.S. Water has done a huge service to the city in what they've been able to do with that water plant.
And I certainly wouldn't take that away from them. But one thing I do know is that this community has been very loud about wanting to make sure we keep our services under the city.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
outsourcing is like a taboo word here in the city of Riviera Beach. And so I just don't want that appearance to happen where they think that that's what we're trying to do, because I've been on that, I've seen that movie before, and it did end well. So as long as we're able to continue to phase them out, I appreciate what they're doing, but at some point, our employees have to be able to stand on their own 2 feet and continue to get the work done without U.S. Water. And so it is my understanding that U.S. Water is there to help them do that. And so I don't want to have to continue to do in these contracts. And like I said, I appreciate you all being there, but I don't want them being handicapped by you all being there, just to really uplift them, train them so that they're able to do it on their own. Thank you.
Sure.
Let me piggyback off of that and ask the executive director and U.S. Water to provide us with their training plan and who's been trained.
Okay.
In that water plant.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead, sir.
we have been fined $1 million before U.S. Water got here. And you know why we were fined that? Because we relied on staff that didn't have the background to recognize problems. U.S. Water is coming in with a unique expertise. outsourcing, if it saves us from $1 million fines and the quality of water increases, it's well worth it. I have no problem with bringing, as a matter of fact, I've recommended that U.S. Water take over everything and get it to a level that is acceptable to our community. We are fighting lawsuits now because we relied on staff. We have been charged by the state attorney relying on staff. At some point, we need to realize that we need to know what we don't know. We don't know how to run a water plant right now. And I meet with them a lot, and I request information a lot, as you all know, and others may do that as well. But what I know is that without U.S. Water right now, we would be in the same predicament that we were in when the water was terrible. I'm having people now saying, at least my water is not brown right now. People are seeing improvements. We're not there yet, but we need the expertise of U.S. Water or somebody. We get caught up in the taboo saying, or we don't want to outsource. I will outsource it in a minute to ensure that our community has safe water. In the New York second, gladly. It's about the quality of the water that's going into our residents' body. I'm not thinking about what somebody may think about us giving it to experts to get us at a level, and then we come back in and take it over. So I have a vastly, strongly different opinion about how to get us out of this negative image with our water. We're going right back to what got us here. This was got us here, staff. We have people over there who have no knowledge about water, and they're in high positions. I made a comment tonight, and I tell you why. I asked for a report from U.S. Water, and I said I didn't want to go through staff because I've experienced that. When I got the report, it had been massaged and it had been, what's the word, the kind word for it? Manipulated to make it seem like everything was okay and everybody in the community know it's not okay. And I'm just tired of not being, I'm talking about me, the city not being truthful with the residents. And staff is always trying to spin it to make it seem like everything is okay. And it's not okay, and everybody knows that. And me, I think we're looking real ridiculous up here trying to do what we did to get us in that position. So I support U.S. Water coming in and running it. I've already said that I wish staff just get out of the way because those at the top, they don't have any knowledge about utility. They hiring and firing and they doing everything and has no utility background. Now, somebody tell me how that makes sense. So
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
Yes.
I'm done,
Thank
but
you.
I'm very frustrated because we're headed back down that road that got us this bad image and got us $1 million fine and got us reported to the state attorney.
Thank you so much for your comments, sir.
Madam
Go
Chair.
ahead.
Madam
Yes,
Chair.
sir.
Mr. Neiman, just real quickly, can you tell me what are the risks for the residents if this work isn't done now?
So currently,
Now and long term.
So right now, one of the biggest complaints I hear from all of our residents, including a lot of our large users, is the amount of sedimentation in our water. And so in the lime softening process, the last line of defense against carryover, and that carryover, which is fine particles, is those filter beds. And so those filter beds filter from the top down. And without those filters being effective, all that sludge or sedimentation ends up into our clear wells, where we pump it right out into the distribution system. Now, we've taken some active measures in the distribution system to flush that out, but if we're just continuing to add more, it does us no benefit. And so I would also like to add that, you know, this contract has no staffing augmentations associated with it. This is solely to do maintenance on the water treatment plant and to get us into a point where we can actually maintain the facility until we have to start our new plant.
Okay, so basically this work will last until we get our new facility and all the new.
Well, no, the work will be completed hopefully by December, but the extent of the repairs will last us until our new plant is ready.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so we have to recognize that we have a dinosaur of a water plant. Nobody builds this type of water plant. They haven't built this type of water plant probably in 30 years, maybe longer. This system was broken for a long time. We've known since 2014, 15, we had independent engineers telling us to get rid of the lime softening plant and build a new plant, not to even put any money into the lime softening plant. So this was neglect for many, many years by this city. We're trying to catch up right now. From the list that I see here, this would be normally maybe 10 years worth of work that we're going to be doing in a short period of time, but it has to be done. If we want to provide clean, safe water to our public, which everybody's entitled to, we have no choice but to approve this. We do not have the staff here to do it. Nobody would have the staff to do it. No municipality would have a staff on board to do the amount of work and the type of work that we're looking to approve tonight. This is years and years and years piled up. And I'm glad that we have a new director who recognizes this. I'm glad we have good consultants. U.S. Water has been doing an excellent job. I made that recommendation, a while back, many of you, to the city manager to bring in an independent engineering firm to help us operate the plant and train our people. And the city manager did do the right job. He brought in U.S. Water. He brought in one of the top companies in the country to assist us. And that's why our water has improved substantially in a short period of time. I don't see that we have any choice but to move forward with this. Yes, it's a lot of money. As my colleague, Councilman Guyton said, we would find like $1.3 million. That could happen again if we fall back into where we were before. We can't believe that we've resolved the issue yet, because we have not. It'll take a lot of work and effort, even right through till the new plant is operating, to keep this plant operating. What we found now is just bits and pieces what we've seen now, but parts only last a certain amount of time. A lot of these parts, we're going to find a lot more wrong with this plant in the next few months is my guess, and we're going to have to upgrade it substantially, but we don't have a choice. We have an obligation to provide clean, safe water to the public. So until we get this new plant up and operating, we must do whatever we have to do to keep the old plant providing clean, safe water. So I support this, and I'm very glad that that this resolution is before us tonight.
Thank you for your comments. I just want to say two things and we'll call the vote. The first thing is that U.S. Water is doing a very good job. That's what we paid them to do. The second thing is don't disparage the employees who are there now. They do have good backgrounds. They do have education. They do have the know and the wherewithal to be able to get it done. They do. That is why we brought U.S. Water in to train them, to ensure that. So it is not, we all know that they're doing a good job. That's not the issue here. The issue is to make sure that the people that are there are trained to be able to take over once they leave. That is the point that I'm trying to make here.
Madam Chair?
With that, yes, go ahead.
Okay. So I appreciate what you're saying about the staff, because I do appreciate the staff that's there right now. They're doing an excellent job. But I remind you that we have a different executive director. We have a different assistant director. We have a different plant manager, and we have a different compliance officer. This board has cleaned house where it had to, and I think that we made tremendous strides as far as the staffing goes. So I commend this board for making difficult decisions and the city manager for making those decisions. And I think that we have an excellent team there right now, and I'm glad that U.S. Water is there to assist them because they're going to have to train them how to operate the new plant. This is going to be completely different than what they're used to. And this is going to take quite some time to do that. So I do appreciate what we're doing. Thank you.
Thank you so
Madam
much.
Chair,
Yes, go ahead, sir.
thank you. And just to clarify a few things, Mr. Neiman, do we have an assistant director on staff?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is we were fined 1.3 million because of reporting. Administration and the directors and the staff didn't do the proper reporting. So we need to make sure that administrative wise, we're doing everything with due diligence. Our staff, I believe, is competent and capable to handle. The concerns I have is that we're paying $5 million right now for this maintenance because we don't have a maintenance policy as a city. This building is a dinosaur. It was built in 1958. But as a city, our policy needs to reflect some type of maintenance programs holistically for every building because our brand new fire stations will be in the same deplorable conditions in 15, 20 years if we don't maintain them properly. So as a board, we're going back and forth with different concerns, but this item that's before us is in regards to maintenance, and this is a product that our staff has said that we do not have staff that could actually handle this, and we would be actually putting this out for bid regardless. I think the concerns are that U.S. Water, who has been at the table, who we had to bring in to cover and to clearly take over some of the operations because of the lack of reporting, why we were fined is they're the ones that are doing it. But if we would have went out to bid, I believe our owner's rep said that this actually was properly vetted and that the price point was in line with going out to bid. So from my agenda reviews, that's my concern. Maybe our owner's rep can opine on that with the comments about this $5 million we're about to spend on maintenance. Did they take a look at this solicitation?
Yes, sir, they did, Mayor.
Okay. So just to be clear, I know the board, the water issues was a crisis. There was a lack of reporting, there was a lack of transparency. But I also want to be clear and transparent with what's being reported to the public holistically. This item is about maintenance, which wasn't done by staff and oversight and leadership. But Mr. Neiman also led with, we do not have the staff able to do that. So moving forward, I would like to see the city put together a maintenance plan for all city facilities, water plant, current and new, and all city facilities that we're actually building so that we don't get into these problems again and that we're not spending millions of dollars on maintenance and repairs to facilities, even though we do have a dinosaur. So I want us to just, as a team, work together to move things forward. And the board has been aggressive with this and put a lot of attention into it by moving all of the directors out of the way that were making the mistakes and bringing in a new solid director. But I do want us to bring in a new assistant director as quickly as possible and look out for that as well. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Madam Clerk.
Very quickly, Madam Chair. If any of my comments came across as disparaging staff, that wasn't my intent. In every organization, we have people that are in positions that shouldn't be there. That's just the reality of life. And we need to identify those people who may not have the skill set, and everyone doesn't have the skill set to learn everything. We assume if you put trigonometry in front of me, I would never get it. I'm pretty sharp in other areas. That doesn't mean that they're necessarily incompetent. That's just not their area of expertise or background to learn. And those type of people as a team need to be used where they can use and elevate their skill set to the highest level. It may not be in water utilities. So I didn't mean to disparage anybody on Mayor and Mr. Chair and Miller Anderson. Y'all know I love you. And we knew we were going to disagree on some things when I got here.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
So,
Okay,
I
thank you so
just
much,
want
Mr.
y'all to
Geis.
know that
We really
it wasn't
appreciate
to
your comments, sir.
disparage y'all staff.
Thank you so much, sir.
Quick
Yes.
question, quick.
Yes, quick.
Director Neiman, you said before, and I just want you to clarify, you said that this was not about, this $4 million is not about hiring staff, it's more about the equipment and the services. Can you
Yes,
just
ma'am.
repeat?
This contract before you is solely for repair and rehabilitation of equipment. I do want to add that I do think we have a pretty good staff at the USD. I think what they lacked was leadership, somebody that was going to hold them accountable for what was going on in the day-to-day actions. You can ask any one of my staff that they see me out in the yard at least 5 times a day. I walk that place. I know it probably better than most of them now. And I think that's what they were lacking, because I get it every day, a thank you. Thank you for coming in and giving us some clear leadership and some clear directions on what we need to do to make this place better. And so that's what we're getting. And I think
So much for
between
those comments.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Board Member Davis Panier,
Yes.
Board Member Guyton,
Yes.
Vice Chair Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Board Member Spiritus,
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier.
No.
The item passes with Chairperson Lanier dissenting.
Next item.
Madam Chair, the next item is 7B, Resolution Number 21-25UD, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the City of Riviera Beach Utility Special District, Palm Beach County, Florida, authorizing the city manager to issue a work order in an amount not to exceed a guaranteed maximum price of $28,425,041 to Haskell CDM Smith Joint Venture for GMP4 for the construction of 1 deep concentrate injection well and 1 dual zone monitoring well, authorizing the Utility Special District Finance Director to make payments from Project 23039 in an amount not to exceed $28,425,041 and providing for an effective date. Madam Chair, we do not have any comment cards for this item. The acceptance of the cards is closed.
So move.
Second.
Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair and members of the board, if I can have Mr. Joshua Neiman, Executive Director of the Utility Special District, to make this presentation.
Madam Chair, if I could call up our JV team to give a overview of the injection well and what this entails.
And be very clear about that and speak in layman's terms. Thank you.
Froze.
All right, I'll let you be in charge of that, and I'll just start talking. Can you figure that out? Hi, Suzanne Meckler with the joint venture of CDM Smith and Haskell. I don't know if anyone can help us get from here to there. I don't know.
Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
Suzanne, can you explain to everybody what your background is?
Okay, I'm a professional engineer. I've been with CDM Smith now for 25 years, and my background is in civil and environmental engineering. Part of the request today was to help explain the difference of all the wells you've been hearing about, and that is what I'll do. I don't need the slides to do it, but it would help if we can get that up and running. I did want to explain a little bit because you hear the word well a lot. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Okay, so this is our site plan for the project. And as you can see, Avenue L, West Blue Heron Boulevard. One of the things that Nigel mentioned in his update is how important it was to get the injection well and monitoring well started early because they are on the same site that we are building the plant. And we do not want to be in the way of each other, meaning this takes a good amount of a huge crane, a drill rig actually, and will require a lot of space. And as you can see, we do have facilities on the back end of the property, and we want to be able to start that now so we can have an ability to complete the project on time. Is that one? Which one? Thank you. Okay, so let me just kind of high level talk to you about concentrate injection well. So the 2 wells that you've heard about earlier today was the Surficial Aquifer well, which is a supply well, and the Floridan Aquifer well, which is also a water supply well. The concentrate injection well is not a supply well. It is a disposal well. Okay, it is permitted by FDEP under the Underground Injection Control Group, and they allow disposal of what they call non-hazardous waste or municipal waste. In our case, in our case, it is the concentrate. So when I was talking earlier about our membrane systems, and I said that you're going to lose 15% in the system, that's because 15% of the water coming through goes to waste, and that's where all the particles go. So that's how you get the clean water out the other side. So we are losing that to the waste stream. This waste stream needs to be disposed of, and this is the methodology for disposal. As you can see, within the state of Florida, there's over 180 of these class 1 injection wells are in the system and permitted. We actually have our permit for Riviera Beach. It is currently on the map. You can actually go to the website, DEP website, and see the permit there. It is currently listed as proposed because it's not in operation yet. As we're aware, it's not constructed or in operation. But you can see every single injection well in the state of Florida. And the permits, Seacoast has one, as you guys are pretty aware, for their water treatment plant as well. So this is necessary to dispose of what we call the concentrate, or the leftover after the clean water goes through. The depth of the injection well is much deeper than the other wells we were talking about earlier. So I can't see, I don't have my glasses, but it's like 3,500 feet deep. So the other wells we were talking about, 1,700. Okay, so we're going down really far. We are going down below what they call the underground source of drinking water. So the requirement to get a permit is that you are going below that zone, so it's not impacting any drinking water supply. So we will be down below that zone. We will be there's confining layers in between the zones, but we will be going down pretty far. And to also control that, we will be constructing a dual zone monitoring well. So on the first site plan, you saw there's the injection well right there. Next to it is a monitoring well. We will be installing both of those as part of this GMP contract. And what the dual zone monitoring well does is it makes sure it checks you're monitoring the aquifer, or you're monitoring that area of the system, and you're making sure that you're not having any upward migration. So the way we do it is it's called dual zone because there's 2 sets of monitoring locations within one monitoring well. And each location will tell us how we're doing, if there's any upconing, or if there's any there's any adjustment that they're seeing and getting the salinity movement into that. And this is also a requirement by the state. So this will be constructed as well. It's not constructed as deep, but it does look, the dual monitoring zone checks basically above the drinking water USDW and below it. So we're constantly checking those measurements. And this has to be reported to the state. Every 5 years, you have to do integrity tests to confirm the well is still doing its job. So all those things are part of the permitting process to be able to construct this.
Madam Chair?
Yeah. Yes, go ahead, sorry.
So Suzanne,
Yes.
can you tell me what, if we didn't do an injection well, what would the other option be?
There's really no other option currently. Most membrane facilities do send down to a deep injection well. You are, some membrane facilities, if you're only treating your superficial aquifer, the concentrate is less salty, and you can potentially send that to the wastewater treatment plant. That is happening in some instances. It is very unlikely to get approval to do that with that RO concentrate because it's much saltier, and really, really salty water has a negative impact on your wastewater processing system. So we are actually talking to your wastewater plant, which is called East Central Regional, and we are having conversations with them to utilize them as a backup in an emergency situation, and that is a requirement as well. It's listed in our permit that we can do that. And what that does is make sure that you don't have to drill 2 injection wells, because you do have to have a backup. And so a worst case scenario would be to drill 2, which we were trying to avoid. So we are drilling the 1 and have that emergency backup through that system.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
So then basically, we would not get approval really to put it into the wastewater plant. So we
Correct.
really don't have an option, do we?
That is correct.
Okay, and would you consider this part of the new water plant?
Yes. It's a necessity for the water plant. If you don't have a place to dispose of the membrane concentrate, you can't have a water plant.
Madam Chair?
Go ahead.
So then basically, when we start this part of the project, we've started the water plant.
That is correct.
Thank you.
That's it.
We'll give you the bids.
So thank you, Suzanne. So we went out and did a competitive bidding process. We came back with we received two proposals, but as part of that proposal is going to include the deep injection well, the dual zone monitoring well. They will do a mechanical integrity test to confirm that the well can handle the disposal quantity. We're also going to do injection testing and also include a temporary wellhead. The permanent wellhead will be installed during the next GMP during the water plant phase. The schedule is once it gets approved for them to mobilize next month in September. Note that drilling operations will be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that is a required change. Otherwise, this will take about 3 to 4 years to drill this well, if not. So,
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
With respect to the construction activities concerning the wells, we are going to provide extraordinary notice for the surrounding properties to let them know what is in fact happening and the duration of the construction-related activities. So I did want the board to know that we would be putting out some public communications associated with that.
Madam Chair, that was pretty much what I was going to ask, and it really has to be intentional. Like, we need to make sure that they get this. I know I've spoken to some residents that, have said they did not know that people were going to be drilling in front of their yards. I don't know if they're telling the whole truth or not, but I'm just saying we have to be intentional to make sure that they know ahead of time that these projects are taking place near them. And if it's going to be an inconvenience, make sure we let them know what that is and what some other, alternative routes or what have you that they may have to prepare for.
Thank you. Any other questions for Haskell?
I would say the low bidder was local Palm Beach County.
Okay, thank you for that presentation. Madam Clerk?
Member Davis Panier,
Yes.
Board Member Guyton,
Yes.
Vice Chair Miller Anderson,
Yes.
Board Member Spiritus,
Yes?
Chairperson Lanier.
Yes.
That's a unanimous vote.
Next item?
Madam Chair, we are on item 7C, resolution number 22-25UD.
Hold on a second. Do we have any public comment cards?
For this item,
No,
Madam,
I'm saying just in general.
you have general public? We have two public comments.
Okay, let me go into the public comment before you do this last item.
You want to do public comment first?
Yes.
Okay.
Public comment shall begin at 5:45 p.m. unless there is no further business of the city council, which in that event, it shall begin sooner. In addition, if an item is being considered at 5:45 p.m., then comments from the public shall begin immediately after the item has been concluded. Please be reminded, the city council board has adopted rules of decorum governing public conduct during official meetings, which has been posted right here in the aisle. In an effort to preserve order, if any of the rules are not adhered to, the city council chairperson may have any disruptive speaker or attendee removed from the podium, from the meeting, and or the building if necessary. Please govern yourselves accordingly.
Madam Chair, the first speaker will be Lloyd Brown, followed by Amon Israel.
How you doing? I'm not really over here to speak about the utilities because, for one thing, that's been going on for a long time, and I'm not going to blame anybody because 10 and 15 years ago it started. We had a bad well. So you want to put it on the people we got out here working today? No, you can't put no blame game. That's what people like to do when they feel, I feel better than y'all if I say, I don't like y'all gray pants. Y'all got on gray pants. I don't like them at all. So I could criticize you. See, I feel good criticizing people. And that's what these people up here want to do. The water needs to be fixed. That's the bottom line. I mean, engineers and all that. I work with engineers at Pratt Whitney. They didn't know squat. I was the one that did the stand and ran the engines and checked out the different components that went on the jet engine. But okay, forget about the water. You know, I went over under the bridge on 4th of July. And you know, it used to be a time when you can go over there and you could sit under that bridge and put your picnic stuff on the table. Since these council members been in here, you go over there, they got scuba gear sitting on the table. And I'm saying you can't park underneath that bridge in the boats, right? Where the boats are, but these people don't care about that. You can't park over there, but they can take and park in the spots where the people that come over there on 4th of July holidays, they can park in them spots and put their equipment right on the table. I mean, you can't change a lot of things in Riviera Beach, but it's a lot of things in Riviera Beach that you can do to help these people. Like I can understand the open container, but hell, you got stores that sell marijuana pipes and everything else. But you're gonna get the man who go in the store and buy these items, tell the people to stop selling them at a certain hour. I mean, you do more to these people over here damage than you help. I mean, all this about the water, they drinking the water, a lot of them are. And as far as you saying the water not brown, that's because it just don't look brown. Let me tell you, is there gonna be a class action lawsuit? I'm gonna get right into it because my eyes, you know, I take showers and whatever, my eyes been bothering me ever since this water been bad. And that's the truth. And you know, Riviera Beach, the black people in Riviera Beach, we used to be people who produce stuff. Now we consumers. And you know what the producers do? When they play the music, consumers got to take and dance to the music. And now all we are is consumers. We used to be producers. And because we got these people and there's no jobs, there's nothing. I mean, we don't even need them. Like you say, we don't need the people here, we don't need them there.
Your comments.
The next speaker is Amon Israel.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Council Chair, Amon Israel, Riviera Beach, Florida. I agree that everything that we possibly can do to correct our water, we should do. I also say, do not let them rob us with all of the negative activity, negative comments that's been made about our water. This is a prime opportunity for someone to take advantage of our city. I'm hearing that our employees have not been trained. Well, if they have not been trained, why not train them? According to U.S. Water's contract, they're supposed to train them. The new director just came in. He has said they have not been trained. Does that indicate that U.S. Water have not trained them? The length of time that U.S. Water has been here, did it take them this amount of time to evaluate our water department? I agree. We should do everything possible to have our water the way it should be. Please do not let them rob us. Do not let them take advantage and negatively talk about our employees. Every director has walked around the water plant for years. That's why we're in the condition that we're in. Thank you.
Madam Chair, that is the end of public comment.
Yes, next item.
The next item, Madam Chair, is item 7C, resolution number 22-25UD, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the City of Riviera Beach Utility Special District, Palm Beach County, Florida, authorizing the city manager and the district finance director to transfer $5 million from the Utility Special District Renewal and Replacement account number 4123-1102-503220 to City of Riviera Beach New Fire Station 86 Project Number 23083 to fund activities associated with the construction of the North Singer Island ground storage tank and pumping facilities at the new Fire Station 86, located at 5010, 5020 North Ocean Drive, authorizing the District Finance Director to modify the budget appropriations accordingly and providing for an effective date. Madam Chair, we have one public comment card on this item. The acceptance of the cards is closed.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Evans?
Madam Chair, members of the board, if I can have Mr. Joshua Neiman, Executive Director for the Utility District, to present this item.
Madam Chair. So the item before you right now is for a $5 million transfer from the USD to the City of Riviera Beach for the construction of the 1 million gallon a day ground storage tank and the associated booster pump station. This is part of the Fire Station 86 construction project, and where they will come in, remove the current fire station, build our new water treatment, our new ground storage tank, and then once that's done, they will be able to demo our current tank and be able to build the fire station in its place.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Director, does this include the water line from the new storage facility tank running north on Singer Island?
No, this does not. This contract only includes the booster pump station and ground storage tank. We are, in fact, though, working to replace that line per our conversations. We are working to size it correctly right now to make sure we have adequate fire protection for the north end of that island, and then we will begin constructing.
So you're going to come back to us for another resolution for that project?
Madam Chair, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Public comment?
We have one public comment card, Madam Chair. Scott Lewis.
Evening, it's Scott Lewis. I stood here in front of the Planning Zoning Committee about 8 weeks ago and made comments about this fire station on Singer Island. And 4 or 5 staff members got up after me and told the board how wrong I was about criticizing the cost of the fire station. And I want to go to what Mr. Guyton said about 10 minutes ago about numbers shifting. I was told, no, the board of planners was told that the fire station only cost $15 million, and the rest of it is because of the water treatment facility, the $10 million. That's how the $25 million was going to come out. And I brought up the 3rd-story tower, which, and Margaret Shepard asked the question, is that a decorative feature to the architect? Your architect said yes, it's a decorative feature, a 3rd story. You can't take numbers. Tonight you're being told it's 33 million. So it's now 25, 30% over budget from what we were told a month ago or 2 months ago and what got bonded out. Now you're only transferring 5 million, but the planning building got told it was 10 million. What are the numbers? You guys are throwing around millions. The staff is millions. All of that is tax money. All of that comes from residents. It doesn't come from staff. It comes from residents in this city. Please get a handle on these millions and millions of dollars. I mean, we've got a water plant getting ready to come in. I still don't know how it's 200 million more than Del Rey, who's doing one too, for more citizens. All right. I keep looking at this. I mean, I hear about saunas, pickleball courts, decorative features on government buildings to look good so they could look out over the ocean. What are you doing? You're doing more to gentrify this city than anybody developers doing. You're doing it because 5 years from now, the tax bill that residents have to pay is enormous. It's going to choke people out in the Western communities. Please take a look at that. I would encourage you to have a workshop solely dedicated to looking at 5 years from now, what is an average resident going to be paying for water and for their house, for property taxes, for this city. Because what are you going to do with these people? And don't base it on a $250,000 home, because that's no longer the average. All the property values accelerated. Make a picture for your residents. Stand up for us, not keep spending and spending what staff says you've got to spend. Question it like Mr. Guyton did a few minutes or 15 minutes ago. Please get more aggressive with this, because we are going to have to pay for this. Thank you.
Madam Chair, that's the end of public comment for this item.
Questions in regard to item 7C? Madam Clerk?
Board Member Davis Penier? Yes. Board Member Guyton?
Yes.
Vice Chair Miller Anderson?
Yes.
Board Member Spiritus?
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
We're at the end of our agenda for the utility district. Are there any discussions by the city manager?
Yes, Madam Chair, very briefly. It was not on the agenda this evening, but we should appoint a representative to serve on the ECR board on behalf of the city of Riviera Beach. In the absence of the department director, the utility district engineer was assigned to that particular position. But now that the director has been seated, it is my recommendation that the board move to appoint Mr. Neiman to serve as the city of Riviera Beach's representative on the ECR board.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Madam Clerk?
Board Member Davis Penier?
Were there any public, no, it wasn't on the agenda.
Anybody want to do it?
Are there anybody who wants to do a public comment in regards to this appointment? Thank you.
Madam Chair, City Clerk, can you please repeat what we're voting on, please?
It was motioned by Board Member Guyton with a second by Board Member Spiritus to appoint the executive director to the ECR board.
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
can you explain what the, Mr. Manager, what the ECR is to the board and to the public?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board. The East Regional Reclamation Facility is a facility that is jointly funded and is operated by the city of West Palm Beach, but it is where the wastewater is transferred to and processed. And so the municipalities, including the county, all have a say on the board, and our board representation. There is fiscal impacts and there is implications. So when the director is not there and involved, there could be decisions that are made at the ECR that have a lasting impact on the adoption of our budget. So that's why staff is recommending that the executive director of the utility district be appointed to that position. And that's been standard for the organization.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Manager, we are part owners of that plan, is that correct?
Madam Chair, if I may?
Yes.
Yes, we are part owners.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk?
Board Member Davis Penier?
Yes.
Board Member Guyton?
Yes.
Vice Chair Miller Anderson?
Yes.
Board Member Spiritus?
Yes.
Chairperson Lanier?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Any discussion by the attorney?
Oh, Madam Chair.
Statements by the board?
Just one comment, Madam Chair, and I say it every meeting. The board is the most important item, and I think we need to extend the meetings from 30 minutes to whatever, because we never adhere to the 30 minutes.
I've suggested that we needed the utility district on its own day. This is what I suggested to the board, but I didn't get any feedback.
Madam Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I would just like to congratulate this board. I've served with you for close to a year and a half now. You've taken a broken water system and you now have a new system that is about to be under construction. So congratulations to the board.
Thank you. We will have a brief recess and we'll come back. The mayor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I agree. We've had this discussion before about the UD meeting, either a separate day or the time. I've heard it come up a few times, but I don't think we've given clear direction to staff, and I want us to start getting in the point of getting direction to staff. Madam Chair, you did recommend a separate day. Board Member Guyton recommended a longer time, but I think we need to really do something because we notice a 5:30 UD meeting and a 6 p.m. regular city council. we have residents that got here at 6 o'clock for a council meeting and it's 7:15. So I think we should take some clear direction and give direction with staff and take that into consideration moving forward. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We'll take a brief recess and we will start our city council meeting in about 5 to 6 minutes.